That first cucumber. It's interesting that it's got these little spikes all over it. I didn't know that cucumbers were like that.
Good afternoon. I slept in way too late today. So yesterday I actually went out and I managed to pick my first real full-sized cucumber. And there's already a lot more cucumbers that are coming in, and the table dainty squash are getting bigger. But something that I just noticed when I was looking out the window, I spend quite a bit of time just staring out of the window at the garden. It's like one of the first things that I do in the morning. Currently it's the middle of the afternoon and normally I wouldn't water the plants until much later or earlier in the day. But I noticed that the cucumbers were looking particularly sad, and I thought it was because of the heat, because that is a thing that plants will do when it's really hot, is the leaves will kind of wilt, especially if there's something that has really big leaves. But I noticed that the only thing that was doing it today is the cucumbers. Like all of the other squash plants and everything seemed fine, which makes me think that the cucumbers just don't have a lot of water in the bed. So I think I need to start watering the cucumbers every single day and making sure that that bed is very well soaked, because it's finally putting on a lot of fruit. Most of the fruit is like at least a couple inches. So I think those 3 plants are probably just taking up a lot of water and they're just drying out the bed completely. So I need to keep it moist. So we're gonna do that really quick. And then I also want to show you how big some of the table dainty first squash are getting, because they're actually big enough to this point where they're starting to hang. So they're getting some weight, which means I should also probably water that bed as well. Let's just go water some things. My tripod is still broken. It does kind of work. I can't really control the height that it's at as much as I would like to, but I can angle the camera fine. So it's later in the day, so most of all of this is back to normal, but if you look here, you can see that these leaves down at the bottom are still wilting. The entire plant was doing that like an hour ago. With cucumbers, you have to be kind of careful, because if you miss a cucumber and it grows to its full size, then the plant will think that it's completed its life cycle and it will start dying. So you have to be really careful to watch out for any cucumbers that are starting to get past their optimal ripeness. A full-grown cucumber actually turns kind of like yellow, and it's not really great for food. And also over here on the ground, in a very easy to miss spot, is another one that is going to be done probably tomorrow. But look how easy that would have been to miss, because it's nowhere near the rest of the trellis. And then there's also another one there. Yeah, I am going to have a lot of cucumbers here very soon. Okay, let me actually count. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 10 that I can just see without searching. So I can already tell I'm going to have a lot of cucumbers this year, which is good, because I like pickles. And pickles are easy to store and make. The dragonflies really love this trellis. The table dainty gourd, again, getting taller as ever. But look at the fruits. The squashes have finally gotten heavy enough that they've turned down. So now they're officially hanging from the plant. Ooh. And then this one, oh, you can't even see it. There, that one I made sure that it got pollinated yesterday. So, do you see how this fruit right here, this squash is very green, but this one that's smaller is yellow? That means that it doesn't have enough nutrients to support all of the squash. So I'm probably gonna want to start fertilizing this bed weekly, maybe once every 2 weeks, just to make sure that this bed has enough nutrients to support all of these plants. Because that is a sign that it is just now getting to the point where that bed is running out of nutrients. If my understanding is correct, at least that's what I gather from it. Also, the freaking tomatoes. I need to water everything today. Like, I could wait till later, but I'm already out here, so I'm probably just gonna water the main things that I know need it, like the bean plants, and these tomatoes. Oh my gosh, okay, look. Oh my gosh, excitement, look. Look at this madness. I can't believe I didn't notice this until just now. Okra is another one that once the flowers are set and the pods start growing, they grow extremely quickly. So I
probably harvest that right now. I probably should, just to make sure that the plant keeps throwing off fruit. But look at that. Oh, that's crazy. That was nothing the last time I looked at this plant. These yellow pear tomatoes are getting tall enough that I have to stake them. I'm debating trying to transfer it into something like this and then just using the trellis net to hold them up, but I also don't want it to get transplant shock, but also that would give it more nutrients, so I'm not entirely sure what decision to make on that. Yeah, I can tell this is gonna... Oh no! I'm stupid. Yeah, so note to self, don't touch them. This might still ripen on its own. I'm gonna leave it on the counter and we'll see what happens. But yeah, this thing needs to get watered pretty bad. And then I should have a ton of yellow pear tomatoes. Because not only are those 3 plants growing, but also this yellow pear tomato that I stuck in this bed is taking off and it's already starting to get flowers. So this is gonna be another one that throws off a bunch of fruit. This is not the optimal time of day to water things, but I'm already out here, so I might as well. At least a couple things. It's starting to get hot, so I'm gonna go get a pair of scissors so I can cut that okra and stop recording for today. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, and I think this might actually end up being a part 2.
Look. Day 2 of this video. There's a viral tweet going around right now of a guy complaining that one of his neighbors isn't beholden to the HOA and so they have grass and plants. Oh no. It's really dumb. It's just Twitter discourse. I don't like HOAs. No living situation I have ever had has been improved by an HOA. It's always been made worse. Our HOA is pretty lax. So far, we haven't run into any issues with them, apart from paying stupid amounts of money and receiving no benefit. So at this point, basically the only thing that the HOA does is lawn care, which means that once every 2 weeks or so, these guys just kind of barge into our backyard and cut all of the grass. But the landscapers are kind of careless.
Well, I'm sad. The guys who do the lawn care fucked up one of my cucumbers. It's a shame.
They're here to do a job, I get it, but also I'm half tempted to just hang a sign that's like, don't bother with this one, and I would be willing to cut our grass in the backyard. They cause me so much anxiety because the landscapers have no concern for personal property. They will run weedwackers over anything. I can hear them when they move to our neighbor's yard, scratching up the back of my garden beds with their mower. You can hear the metal grinding on metal. So whenever I hear them in the backyard, I anxiously wake up in the morning and jump up to look out of the window to watch what they're doing. And I'm very non-confrontational, so I'm probably not even going to say anything. But this morning, they ran a weed whacker over one of my cucumbers. And it just makes me very sad because I feel like my plants should be safe in my own backyard. This is supposed to be my space where I can have things and put care and effort into stuff, and it's frustrating knowing some random guy with a weed whacker can come in and ruin it all. So I had to tie up all of the trailing cucumber plants. I don't know if that's even going to be enough to stop them. I don't know. They're very careless. If anyone who's watching this knows how to dissolve an HOA or has ever dissolved an HOA, please let me know, because we pay more money to the HOA than we would pay for just lawn care. And they don't really offer us anything at this point. I took what was left of the cucumber and just put it with the other pickles, but it still just kind of sucks, you know? I'm also trying not to stress about it too much because I know that this is just the second cucumber of 20. So in the long run, it's not really gonna be that big of a deal, but it just sucks because it was one of the first ones. Joe and I are going to a convention this weekend, so I probably won't post here until next week. So hopefully I will see you then. Have a good day.